Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. I have a question today about specialization, but I'm not going to hit too much on that. I'm going to focus more on this idea of basically side projects. This is something I talk about a lot. So this email comes from TJ, and TJ says, "Hi John, thanks for providing all these resources to help other developers. As a young software developer, your blog posts and articles have helped me quite a bit in making progress in my career so far. As a matter of fact, I ordered your book yesterday, so I'm looking forward to reading through it. One topic I'd like to see you cover in a blog post would be about creating side projects. Specifically, I seem to run into the following problem when trying to start a side project. I'll start designing it and begin the implementation, but the more I get into the design, I start complicating it by adding more and more features that I think of along the way. I know I could do a simple version first, but I try to make my design as extensible as possible so that I can easily add features later. That usually gets me into trouble as I try to add too much, too fast, so I would like a sort of high-level walkthrough of how you create a side project successfully, since I know you've talked about how you're good about finishing what you start." So, and then he goes on to talk about basically, the idea of specialization, which I'm not going to answer in this video because I've talked about it so much. But I do want to talk about the side project side. So, side projects. This is the key to side projects, which is I always talk about about how important it is to have one, and I always talk about finishing things, but you don't start something that you're not going to finish, right? This is kind of where it starts, right? I always talk about having the end in mind, and so you got to think about how is this project going to end? Is it going to end with you basically just spending less and less time on it, and then you're eventually going to give up and stop doing it? If that's the case, don't even start it, right? Or change the scope so that you can have something that's shippable. Because when you get 90% shippable and you don't ship the thing, you get 0% value out of it. And there, so many times, I've done it myself. Start a project, work on it, get to 80% or 90% level, don't actually ship the thing because I've tried to make it too complicated. I've tried to add too many features to it. I've gotten bored with it. I'm tired of it. I want to move on to the next thing. And so I get almost no value out of it. The only value I get was from the experience of building the thing. And you get a lot more value out of building a thing when you complete it. And you feel a lot better about yourself. And you might even make some money. So here's the thing. If you're having problems with this, right, you kind of self-diagnosed here. You know what your problem is. You're adding too many features. You're trying to make the thing too extensible. Just ship it. Don't even worry about the architecture, right, at this point if you're trying to build a thing. Ship the first version, get it out there. You can always refactor and redo it later if you want to. If your problem was that you're shipping a lot of stuff and it's always hard for you to go back and fix them and add features later, then I would tell you, slow down, stop shipping so much stuff, and start designing them better and adding better architecture and making them more extensible. But that's not your problem, and that's not most people's problems, right? Most people don't have that problem. So get that problem, right? Don't err on the side of shipping it with a poor architecture, right? Because that's how you're going to tackle your problem. And then if you find that the poor architecture becomes an issue for you because it's hard to now add new features and things like that, then address that. But don't address it now, right? This is premature optimization. You're doing it both in your code but also in your life, right? So stop doing it. Stop hurting yourself. Pick and for your next side project, pick something smaller. If you're working on something right now, shrink it down to the smallest shippable thing. This MVP, minimal viable product, gets thrown out all the time, but I don't like to use buzzwords and all that stuff. But seriously, it is true. The concept is true. Make it the smallest possible thing. Pick a small slice of functionality. Get the thing done. Don't worry too much about the architecture, and then go from there. And that's really the best way to go. This is how I get most of my projects done. Is if I sat there and just was a perfectionist all the time about the things, or tried to think about so much for the future, I'd never get anything done. I wouldn't even write a blog post. I wouldn't even do this video. I'd be re-recording this video like 15 times saying, oh, I don't know, should you wear that hat and you didn't shave, and man, are you really gonna wear a tank top on a big? Screw it! I'm just recording the video. I don't have all day to do this, right? This is the thing. So that's that's just the attitude that you're gonna have to take if you want to get a lot of stuff done. When you start to see problems, then you go back and fix things, right? When people say, hey, you look like a bum with a surfer hat on, then maybe next time I won't do that. So, but anyway, shipping is usually the most important thing. Um, I think you already know your problem is. So hopefully this helps to reinforce it. And just remember, don't premature optimize. And when you do, just in general, when you face a problem, deal with the problem. Don't anticipate problems too much ahead of time, right? You're going to have to imagine that you're going to have to ship 10 things before you get something right. If you think you have to get something right perfectly on the first try, then you're not going to go through that failure process, right? Don't be afraid to fail. It's fine. Ship your first thing and you fail, and then you can ship your second thing, but you realize that you're going the path of success. There are lots of failure dominoes along the way. And so if you don't hit those failure dominoes, right? Then you're not going to get down the path of success. So don't delay it. Don't avoid it. Don't be afraid to hit the failures first. Don't purposely plow into failure zone and do stupid things, but don't be afraid of them. Go ahead, go forward, find out what you're doing wrong so that you can figure out what to do right. Don't anticipate what you think is right until, at the cost of shipping. So, all right, hopefully that helps you. If you find this video useful, definitely share it with someone, and I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. Take care.